Long pass is out, incomplete. Kennison rolled it on the ground. Next Sunday night, back in the state of California, down to San Diego to watch Eli Manning play against the team that he spurned on draft day some 18 months ago. LaDainian Tomlinson set an NFL record today, consecutive games with a touchdown. Giants, Chargers, game time as always after prime time, 7:30 Eastern, exclusively on ESPN and ESPN HD. They said we're going to be here a couple of Saturday night games. We'll be here New Year's Eve. Think of that song, I think it was Sade, the line, "This place fits it." Every night is New Year's Eve.
Yes.
In the black hole.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
On the reverse, taken by the tight end Chris Wilson to the 28-yard line. And that's part of what makes this Kansas City offense so hard to label. There aren't many offenses where the tight end is going to end up getting the second part of a reverse.
Offensive genius Al Saunders, who never sleeps, just stays down in the dungeon and try and create ways of creating offense, just forcing the Raiders defensive line to move. And he's got himself in a manageable third down now. Trent doesn't have to hold on to the football or be special. I expect a little check down or something right over the ball, over the middle.
Green forced to take a timeout. They had to do this twice in the first half. Conversation with Tony Gonzalez. 3rd and 4 when you come back.
This telecast is copyrighted by the NFL for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this telecast or of any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the NFL's consent is prohibited.
أساتذة كرة القدم الشاملة يعودون لخوض موسم آخر زاخر بالأحداث. لا تفوتوا حماس ومهارة وإثارة الدوري الهولندي. يبث حاليا كل سبت وأحد على الرياضية.
Copyrighted by the NFL for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this telecast or of any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the NFL's consent is prohibited.
Remember, tomorrow, ABC, ESPN, the National Football League join together to help the victims of Hurricane Katrina. The special NFL doubleheader starts at 7:30. Giants, Saints, then at 9 Eastern. Most of you on ABC will be switched to Redskins, Cowboys. The Giants and Saints moving here to ESPN to conclude, except in the New York area where Giants fans are and the Gulf area where you'll see that game to conclusion on ABC. They'll pick up the rest of Cowboys, Redskins. Chris Berman, Robin Roberts will be there with many former and current NFL stars. And you can pitch in and help NFL Hurricane Relief Weekend. Out of the Kansas City timeout, 3rd and 4. And Green is hit as he throws. It is scooped up and caught by Sammy Parker for a first down at the 41-yard line. A pickup of 14, a good night for Parker.
Something over the middle, something that allows Trent Green to get the ball out of his hand. And look at this, right there, back foot hits. Come on, make the turn. Throw it low and away, protect his receiver, allow his receiver to play another play without getting hit in the face. Outstanding offense, and that's why Trent Green, he's underrated, but he won't be after tonight because we are definitely have sung his praises pretty much for the things that he does really, really well.
DeLawrence Grant almost hit him. This time Green throws over the middle again and is hauled in by Chris Horn. Horn was never touched and finally is smothered down by Stanford route Kirk Morrison, but a gain of 16 for the third-year man out of Rocky Mountain College. Remember, Freddie Mitchell was in the Chiefs camp.
Freddie Mitchell.
Yes, didn't really go that well.
Oh, that Freddie Mitchell.
Yes, former Eagle. I remember him.
And it's because of that guy. Let's go. Because Chris Horn is a guy who is a pretty astute route runner, catches the football in his hands and is fearless. You saw him go over the middle there, make a grab in his hands, heady enough to realize he wasn't down and had an opportunity to make a bigger play.
Kansas City's done a nice job here in the second half of sustaining drives. Right up the middle, Larry Johnson, Ted Washington obliterates him. Washington playing his 201st regular season game here tonight. The 14-year veteran out of Louisville.
Outstanding talent. I mean, he loves to play over the center. Look at him control him, uses his hands, form tackle. Why don't you ease on back here, Larry, and lay down? A guy who is very strong. Usually see him in a 3-4 on the nose, but he can play the 4-3 as well because he's going to play somewhere around the center.
Warren Sapp on the sideline watching these plays. Empty backfield on 2nd and 10. Green time, almost a disaster there for Parker. He almost tipped it high enough So one of the DBs, like Derek Gibson, could come out and get it. Well, third down coming up. By the way, as you watch the Raiders defense, you might not see 21 in silver and black. Nande Asamoah, the first-round draft pick out of 2003, shaken up earlier on that long drive. And he has come off the field and back to the locker room. So Rob Ryan, son of Buddy, the Raider defensive coordinator, working without his starting left corner here on this drive. He looks like a Raider coach. He really does. 3rd and 10, 5 options for Green, who is flushed and throws complete to Gonzalez. First down at the 29, a 12-yard pickup. So many big completions to Gonzalez tonight in front of Derek Gibson, the strong safety.
He's not mobile, but he moves well enough to get the ball out of his hands for a first down. And look at Tony. Just find a way, move around, catch it. Now he's trying to get yards after the catch. Outstanding play between those two guys because they know each other so very well.
And you could see as Green was flushed, as he scrambled, the linebacker Morrison went with Green and opened up that little window.
Created a throwing lane. Yes, he did, Mike.
5 catches for Gonzalez. Some big ones here in the second half. The tight end Dunn comes down to block for Larry Johnson, who was a couple of steps away from another first down. A pickup of 5. We'll have 2nd and 5 coming up.
You know, Tony Gonzalez is a special talent, and you hear us talk about great players all the time. And I don't like the word great, but he is. I mean, he's physical when he has to be, but he gets his job done. And you see what they've done is they're not giving Tony Gonzalez a free release. Every time you see him, somebody's trying to get contact on him to disrupt his timing and get him out of the flow of what he is trying to do. But lately, haven't had a lot of people in his face. He's able to find throwing lanes. 5 catches, Mike, as you just mentioned.
We all overuse great,
yes,
but the word fits Gonzalez. Green over the middle, incomplete for the other tight end, Jason Dunn. Susie has more on the Pro Bowl tight end.
Yeah, talking to him before the game, he told me this is absolutely the best team he's been around in his 9 years. He said he's not being overly optimistic to think if the defense can hold their own, they can go all the way. And he said for him, it's all he's playing for now. He's got all the personal accolades, and he looks at his buddy, Warren Moon, who played all those years and never won the big one. Consider that Tony, in 9 years, has been in 2 playoff games, never won one. You think he's hungry?
Absolutely. Susie, the last playoff game won by this franchise, you go back to the divisional playoffs in '93 when they beat Houston. Third down for Green, flushed and just couldn't get enough on it as he was being hit by Derek Burgess. So the reason they got Derek Burgess to rush the passer, remember he sacked Mike Vick a couple of times in the NFC Championship game? He's had an impact, getting to Green a few times, and here, forcing a field goal attempt for time.
Get people out of their comfort zone, and that's what he does. He's a speed rusher who has very good technique, few moves, but does a good job of forcing quarterbacks to move around, and especially stationary when Trent Green is a pocket passer. And if you can force him to move around, you might get him to make a bad throw every now and then like the Raiders did just then.
From 42 yards, 1 blocked earlier, 1 made on the last drive. Gets it through the arms in the middle and in the middle of the uprights. So after a 15-play drive that led to a field goal, this time 11 plays. Washington, the defense, do enough to keep the Raiders within 6.
This telecast is copyrighted by the NFL for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this telecast or of any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the NFL's consent is prohibited.
When you aim for the top,
you got a job.
you need to use
wrong type. Next.
all of your talent. Tap, Friday at these times, new and exclusive on Cinema City.
This telecast is copyrighted by the NFL for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this telecast or of any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the NFL's consent is prohibited.
You know, 28 plays, 17 play, or it was really 19 snaps, and then the 11-play drive that they just have, so it would be 30 plays total. sometimes you get 6 points out of that and you're frustrated. But what it's done for Kansas City, they've had the ball 17 minutes in this half to the Raiders 4. They've kept Randy Moss and the Raiders off the field.
Getting cold, getting stiff, and need a big return right here. A big return will shorten the field, allow Norb to open up.
Flag comes in as Chris Carr is tackled inside the 20, so it'll be...
Okay, that's not good.
No, it's not. 90 yards of field.
Personal foul. Whipping. Number 55. Return team. Half the distance of the goal. First down. Timeout.
Danny Clark penalized there, so Moss, Collins, and the Raiders take the field. About 90 yards to go in a 6-point hole. 8:40 remaining in Oakland.
This telecast is copyrighted by the NFL for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this telecast or of any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the NFL's consent is prohibited.
No one plays the game like they do. For them, it's a way of life. Skills, thrills, attacking flair. That's what Brazilian football is all about. The Brazilian Championship now airing every Sunday live on Alegria Dia.
This telecast is copyrighted by the NFL for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this telecast or of any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the NFL's consent is prohibited.
8:40 left. Raiders trail by 6 after the holding penalty on first down, the clip, I should say. They take over inside their 10. Kerry Collins runs for 8. Fans want the flag, and they get it as Collins started to slide, and then the hit came.
Personal foul. Unnecessary roughness. Number 50 of the defense. Hitting the quarterback after he was down. 15-yard penalty. First down.
The flag on Kawika Mitchell makes it a 23-yard gain.
Wow. Yeah, he gave himself up. And you got to be smarter than that. And Dick Vermeil talks about having a smart football team. And that was not a smart play. And now you let the Raiders off the hook. And now they can go down, take some time off this clock, score a touchdown, and force the Kansas City Chiefs into a hurry-up mode. And with this crowd, if Randy Moss scores, this crowd's going to go nuts.
This was the worst starting field position for the Raiders tonight. They go reverse to Albus Whitted. A marker is down as Whitted sprints through the secondary and takes it to the 40-yard line. It would have been a pickup of 27. When the offensive linemen are standing back there,
Number 64.
you know that's coming.
You have a good idea what's about to happen, don't you?
Jake Grove, the second-round draft pick last year out of Virginia Tech, played guard last year. Back to his natural position of center, is flagged.
All right, let's see. Does Jake do anything? Jake! Hey. No, as an analyst, yeah, you can't do that. You can't. And you know what? He knew that the play was going to be blown up in the backfield, and he was trying to save it. And I understand it, but you can't hurt. You just got a big play off a penalty. Don't. 1st and 20 now is going to make it hard. It's a tough call for Coach Turner in that offense right now.
Just the 6th flag on the Raiders, second here in this half. 1st and long, juggled, but hung on to by Ronald Curry, who takes it to the 27-yard line.
You know what? I've been sitting here now. We got almost 7 minutes, 7:30 left. I think it's time to get this guy going again, because now he got a chance to play the position. You see him get his way down, make that catch. He got a chance to find a void, go up and make a grab, get some dirt on him. He did that. And then this is what he does best. Look at the hand. I'm open. I can win this one. And over Patrick Surtain and then Sammy Knight, he was able to get himself in the end zone. This crowd went nuts. The Raider defense got pumped up. Now it's time for the offense to come back. Jimmy ran that offense to come back and let's find Randy Moss and get this crowd back in. Let's give him an opportunity to be special. And he's open right now.
Collins going deep for Porter, and it is almost intercepted by Dexter McLeod. Moss was sprinting down the middle of the field. Porter to his left, and there you go, back to the vintage Raider days of the vertical offense.
I mean, you watch the deep ball. This right here is the same play that Randy Moss has made 1,000 times. Just run through it. And then I think the window right now. Throw it now. Throw it right now. Right now, you got it. And he's going to take a lick in the back. But as you can see, it looks like the Raider receivers are feeling their way in these routes.
Isn't it going to take time for Kerry Collins to know what Randy Moss can do in those situations?
I think it's anticipation, and sometimes you have to force the issue, Mike. You know, if Randy Moss says he's the best player in the league because he draws all this defensive position.
Number 18, offense, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
If Randy Moss says he's the best receiver in the league because he gets all the defensive attention, then you don't get to pick and choose when you're going to be special. Sometimes the situations dictate when you're special, and the play he made for the touchdown, that situation dictated he be special. It's time now with just under 6 minutes in this game, just under 7 minutes, excuse me, in this game. It's time for Randy Moss to be special because the situation dictates he be special.
He was whistled for the flag there. 15th flag of the night. The typical Chiefs-Raiders game. Pressure on as Collins lets the pressure go by. Now he's over the line, and he's done. Kawika Mitchell puts him out of bounds. Kerry Collins knew that he had crossed the line of scrimmage, so he had nowhere to go. Benny Sapp's initial pressure forced that to be ugly.
And you know what? Because you force a quarterback to go, he's right-handed, you force him to go left, got no chance to set his arm and throw. Randy would say, hey, I'm open. Hey, I'm open. Yeah, give it to me, I'm open.
Randy must have been great in 3rd grade.
Well,
hand was always up. He's always ready to speak.
He has the mentality of a great receiver, Mike, because he's always open.
Shane Leckler to punt. They need one of his good ones. Good hang time, a little bit shorter than normal. Still 50 yards. Dante Hall eludes one. Flag comes in as Hall is taken out of bounds. Kirk Morrison gesturing for the flag. It was coming.
Yeah, it was kind of like a horse and, you know, putting a saddle on a horse. And the horse didn't like the saddle being put on him. It's kind of what that was like.
During the return, holding. Number 91 receiving team. 10-yard penalty. 1st down.
We never go too far doing a football game without Mike Black in the booth, our kicking expert. 4.92 he had the hang time on that 50-yard punt. Wow, pretty perfect equation.
This telecast is copyrighted by the NFL for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this telecast or of any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the NFL's consent is prohibited.
المركز الرياضي برنامج يحجز لكم تذكرة شبه يومية إلى المحافل الدولية. بوابة للحوار حول الأحداث والقضايا الرياضية. خدمة إخبارية متميزة تضعكم دائما في الصفوف الأمامية. المركز الرياضي يبث من الاثنين إلى الجمعة مباشرة على الرياضية.
This telecast is copyrighted by the NFL for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this telecast or of any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the NFL's consent is prohibited.
Here in the second half, Kansas City has twice the plays, 2.5 times more time of possession. The Raiders have more points, the touchdown and extra point, the Chiefs 2 field goals. Yet Kansas City's controlled the game and has prohibited the Raiders from getting in that offensive flow that Norv Turner was concerned about happening.
And that's who they are, Mike. They throw the football a lot, but they're extremely physical.
Warren Sapp's penetration forces that play to be a loss of 10, and Sapp is hurt. Danny Clark comes up with a tackle. Warren Sapp disrupted it in the backfield on that reverse. And he's on all fours.
You know, remember, he talked about when you get guys pulling, it's an opportunity to jump in some hip pockets.
Yes.
Make a lot of plays behind the line of scrimmage. And I think somebody's going to pull, and he's going to jump in some hip pockets and just try and grab everybody. Let's just, you know, grab the guy, you know, grab the whole backfield, and then you throw guys out until you find the one with the ball, and that's what he tried to do there.
Just look like all of Warren's weight coming down on that left shoulder. He's got the trainers laughing, as only Warren Sapp can. He still a quota minute, maybe not as productive now in his 11th season, although he's not ready to walk away from the game. 2.5 sacks, a career low last year for the 7-time Pro Bowler who was completely out of place.
Yes, he was.
Playing on the end of the 3-4 defense.
As he put it, just don't want to come to work when you're out of place.
Clock restarts inside of 6 minutes remaining in regulation time. Green gives to Holmes. And Priest Holmes takes it to the 25-yard line. We'll have second down, or third down, I should say, and about 7 coming up.
If we tackle, we get off the field. Warren Sapp said that about his defense. Well, you're going to have Derek Gibson, the strong safety, standing in the hole right there, and he doesn't make the tackle. And what you do now, when you have your strong safety, who's supposed to be one of your better tackles, standing in the hole, and Priest Holmes can give a move like that and create more running room for himself, now you're in a very manageable 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8 when you had him for 3rd and 13, 3rd and 14.
Green throws complete for the first down to Sammy Parker, who stays on his feet, lost the football, and Stuart Schweigert has recovered. Charles Woodson knocked it free.
Charles Woodson looks awfully happy because he's probably frustrated. And they gave up a big 3rd down. Look at him take the swipe at it.
Wow.
Ball's out.
What a play.
That's a great play, Mike.
Wow.
That is a great play. Special guys make special plays when the situation determines that you be special. And that situation determines it.
Charles Woodson, who had only 1 interception last year, gets the second-year man, Sammy Parker. Woodson, a franchise player each of the last 2 years, signing a somewhat controversial franchise tender for $10 million coming into this season. There's some question if he's still as productive.
Yeah, all right, Mike, let's do it again. Why don't we just drop back, max protect, and throw it to the guy at the bottom of the screen. The crowd is kind of in it. They want to be in it. Let's just max protect and let it go. Let it go. All right, throw it. Throw it. He's open. No, he's open.
Underneath the vacated area, and Lamont Jordan forgot the ball for the second time. The thought that you had, everybody else had. Randy Moss took half of Missouri with him down the field.
Yes, he did.
Lamont Jordan had half of the Bay Area to run.
And didn't he say he was like the best receiving back out of all the guys that Norv Turner had a chance to coach? The Terry Allens and the Stephen Davises, the Emmitt Smiths. And you got to make that catch. But I still would have thrown this football to Randy Moss right now. I would have thrown that. I would have given him his opportunity to be special.
Play to Jordan, he would have had 30 yards.
Well, I mean, he was open. He was open, I understand, but I still would have thrown it. I would have taken my shot.
2nd and 10, they come back to Jordan, running with a purpose. Across midfield in a gain of 5. I mean, the impact of Randy Moss, it sounds like you're telling me he's the best player in the NFL.
You know what? I'm not even going to say he's the best receiver in the NFL. And I'm not going to say that because I like Randy and what he does and how, 91, 92 touchdowns now in a little over 8 years. But I don't think he's the best receiver. And I'm saying the best receiver that does it all. That's route running, concentration, short yardage, long yardage.
Give me one that's better.
T.O. makes you defend every square inch of the football field. Every square inch of it.
3rd and 5, needing to get to the 41 to keep the drive alive. Collins is pressured, hit as he throws, caught by Jerry Porter. First down at the 28. Good job by Collins, who saw John Browning closing in, but hung in there for a gain of 19.
That's what I'm talking about. You got Randy Moss. You got everybody's focused on Randy. Very cute route running, find the hole, catch it, and that's what you do right there. That's a deep end throw, step and throw it. And it's a tight spiral, Mike. That's what a big-arm quarterback, big-arm market passer, that's what he's supposed to do. Stand in there, take the hit, deliver the football, move the chains for a first down.
Inside of 3.5 in regulation. Lamont Jordan gallops through the hole. Gets to the 22-yard line. A pickup of 6. Make it 7. Then he saps Sammy Knight on the tackle. Typical Raiders-Chiefs game. You get the feeling that if you took the kids of these players, the spouses of these players, and put Chiefs jerseys and Raiders jerseys on them, it would come down to the last position.
It's going to come down to, you're exactly right. And you know what? The score is probably not as high as a lot of people probably thought it would be because we weren't sure what the defense was going to do. But we definitely knew the outcome was going to be within 7 points or less.
2nd and 3. Jordan, left side. First down. Mitchell brings him down at the 13. This becoming a must-drive here for the Raiders as we're under 2.5 remaining in regulation.
Okay, Mike, what we're doing is we're establishing tone and tempo. And all you're going to do is you're going to pull Ron Stone, let him lead up in the hole, and get your back north and south, get his shoulder square, because now we're just trying to establish who we are, the Kansas City Chiefs. And we're taking some time off the clock. We're coming down to 2 minutes.
Almost at the point of 3 being no good. Got to be 7 on this drive. Lots of pressure. Collins throws, juggled by Porter, and a good job by Surtain to wrap him up and bring him down. And we have a Raider hurt down by the goal line. It's Ronald Curry who had the problems with the Achilles and the ankle last year.
Maybe cramping a little bit. I think he may, I mean, because he ran his post route and just looked like he got shot.
Curry, the former slam dunk champion, best high school basketball player in the nation, 1999.
Oh, just on the cut. Oh, wow, that looks real serious. I mean, that's just on the cut. It looks like he gave out on him.
He's had the injury problems that we mentioned. When he came on last year, Curry was a fine basketball player in North Carolina, the point guard for the Tar Heels, couple of ACC championships, quarterback on the football team when Carolina football had some of its better days. So he comes out 2nd and 10. Porter and Moss, the receivers. Zach Crockett joins Lamont Jordan in the backfield. Collins underneath, again slipping and falling, is Jordan after the gain of 4 as we come to the 2-minute warning. So the play made as the Chiefs were trying to get the game clinching drive. Charles Woodson knocked it free, giving the Raiders the ball back and an opportunity to take the lead as they have it at the 10 at the 2-minute warning.
This telecast is copyrighted by the NFL for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this telecast or of any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the NFL's consent is prohibited.
مدام بوفاري ليست من قريحة شعر فلوبير فحسب، بل إنها ملهمة الطول ورد في الموسم الشتوي. تجرأي على الحلم، عيشيها حقيقة كي لا تظل سجينة له. توني وورد هوت كوتور في أناقة الجمعة في 4:30 بعد الظهر على قناة اليوم.
ESPN thanks you for watching this presentation of the National Football League.
Under the full moon here at the Black Hole, no sea of tranquility in McAfee Coliseum. Inside of 2 minutes, Raiders facing 3rd and 6. They need 10 for a touchdown. Collins sets up the screen, deflected, and Jordan cannot get there, so we will have 4th down. Eric Hicks, the defensive end, gets up there to make the play. And it was Hicks who told us last night, how ironic would it be? Because our offense has bailed us out for the last couple of years. Wouldn't it be ironic if the defense could come up with the big play to win a close, tight game? Well, he helped do it right there to set up 4th down.
He may have done it, Mike. He may have done it. I mean, on the screen pass, usually you want someone on the outside rusher so you can get his hands down. That's why you want to get the outside rusher's hands down so he didn't get up and deflect it, because it looked like Lamont Jordan would have walked in had that ball been completed.
Well, as Norv Turner and Kerry Collins discuss what to do here in this last chance situation for the Raiders on 4th down. Although they still have 2 timeouts. Let's check your voting. Sunday Stud, who had the top performance of today, ESPN.com or NFL.com. Thomas Jones and the Bears win over the Lions. The Eagles combo, Carson Palmer in the win over Minnesota, or Carnell Williams. You vote for Donovan McNabb from
Louisville.
No, Syracuse.
Oh, my bad. Oh,
60%.
Tom Jackson did that. Yeah, I'm sorry.
McNabb's Sunday Stud. Thank you to the 80,000 plus who voted online tonight. Here we go. 4th down. They can get the 1st down at the 4. And Collins, will it be Moss? He looks back of the end zone. It is Porter. Cannot bring it down. And was it intercepted? I think he may have come up with the pick as well. Benny Sapp laying in the corner. They're discussing it here. They'll say incomplete, which means the Chiefs will take over at the 10. But the double coverage and the juggle, Porter couldn't pull it in. Game not over yet. Minute 46, 2 timeouts for the Raiders.
I like the call. I mean, brought him all the way across. I mean, he got in the back of it, just underthrown. And he had an opportunity to come up with the catch, just underthrown. And wow. Wow, with Randy Moss on my team, I don't know, Mike. I think I have to give him a shot. I'm not mad at the call. I'm not mad at the play. I just think I have to give Randy an opportunity.
Sterling, Okay, replay shows the ball touching the ground there. Now, interesting here, if they didn't take the timeout before fourth down, they'd have all 3 timeouts and the ability to force a punt. Right. Here, Kansas City is much better clock management situation. Oakland being down to 2 timeouts. Holmes runs it, gains 2. Raiders will stop it here at 1:41 is the correct time with the stoppage. So Oakland down to 1 timeout remaining, but they would have had much more time and no timeouts if they didn't have to burn it before fourth down.
And wow, how many missed opportunities this football team have tonight?
Well, you want to see them? Here they are. For those of you just joining us, the Raiders have been close several times. They gave Kansas City their first points of the night after 3 and out to open the game. Chris Carr couldn't catch a punt. Randy Moss, a very questionable offensive pass interference call, took 7 off the board. Then Lamont Jordan ran free for a touchdown. Not on the play side. Langston Walker was holding. Call that back. Janikowski missed a long field goal. So the Raiders in the end zone twice and a field goal wiped out by penalties or the Janikowski miss. 2nd and 8. They run Holmes, who has the first down, stays in bounds, and that should just about do it.
Yep, it's like my grandma used to say when we had this cat who got his tail caught in the washing machine, Mike. She said it won't be long now.
No, it will not. And it will be a long week for the Raiders, who will fall to 0-2 here on the season. They'll lose a home opener for just the 2nd time in the last 11 years. Both would be to Kansas City, and they have to go to Philadelphia next Sunday.
No, at least they'll have their focus, because if they get an opportunity to go home and watch NFL primetime, they'll get a chance to see that the Philadelphia Eagles are hitting on all 12 cylinders. So they'll definitely have their focus, or they'll go to Philly and get embarrassed. But I tell you what, I'm impressed. I'm impressed with the way the defense has battled. I'm impressed with Lamont Jordan. He laid a few on the ground, dropped a few passes that he probably should have caught. But I'm impressed with the Oakland Raiders, and I'm doubly impressed with the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, I'm just going to go to the Chiefs here. What a start it is for Dick Vermeil's team after that slow start last year when things just started to fall apart. Larry Johnson, that's a whistle from someone somewhere in the crowd. Raiders powerless to stop it. And we are a snap away from the end of this game. So Priest Holmes dinged up, had a big 20-yard run, ends up with 75 yards. Not as much from Larry Johnson, but those 2 time-consuming drives, 15 plays, then 11 plays. Although they ended up in field goals, they put pressure on the Raiders to have to strike quick, and they couldn't.
You know, sometimes, Mike, you do what you have to win. And sometimes it doesn't take a touchdown to win the football game. And the Kansas City Chiefs came into a hostile environment. They played, they played very well football, pretty well football, and they're going to leave here with the victory. They're going to be 2-0.
And go to Invesco Field at Mile High next Monday night on ABC to take on the Broncos, who beat the division champion Chargers at the buzzer on an Elam field goal tonight. And then they have Philadelphia after that. So this tough schedule start for Kansas City starts with 2 victories. SportsCenter, by the way, is on the way. Stuart Scott, Steve Levy. NFL Hurricane Relief Weekend continues with the doubleheader tomorrow night. 1-888-635-5944. www.bushclintonkatrinafund.com. Please help out and support, as many of you did at stadiums, and they did here in Oakland tonight. Mr. Sharp, good seeing you.
It's a pleasure, Mike. Thank you, man.
Nice being back with you. See you in December.
I learned TV from you, man, and it was a pleasure being in your presence.
Mike, Joe, and Paul will join Susie tomorrow night in New York. And here's Susie with Priest Holmes.
Well, you get banged up early, churn out 75. What's it like in a game like this to play once you're banged up like that?
Well, it was one of those things where I went into a bunch of pile of people, and for whatever reason, there was a nerve that was struck, and for whatever reason, I needed to sit down for a second, so that's what I did. But in terms of this game, it's a big game. It's versus Oakland, so for everyone back home, this is for you all. And we always know there's going to be a tight game, but even with all of that, even in the black hole, we pulled out a win.
What's this rivalry like out there?
It's very big. This is the week where family members split. They're no longer related, because if there's a family member that's a Raider friend, they're not going to love them this week. So everybody can come back home. You can accept your family members now because the game is over.
Congratulations.
Safe travels to the Meadowlands, Susie. Remember the doubleheader on ABC tomorrow night. Our final score, Kansas City 23, Oakland 17. With Susie Colbert, Sterling Sharp, Mike Tirico, this has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. Good night from Oakland, and off we go to SportsCenter.